Hey everybody, it's Nick.
And Gator.
And this is going to be our Pulpit Rewind episode for this week because
We're in TPE.
We are at TPE. We are currently playing it up in Las Vegas, having a good time. Hopefully having a good time. I mean, let's be real. This is anticipatory, you know.
Yes.
This Jeff could have been rolled and missing a kidney by a hooker or something like that by now, and Lord only knows where I'm at. But
I mean, there's a 50-50 shot.
Yeah, I mean, things could go wrong, but by and large, I think we're okay. And anyway, we've got this rewind episode, but no, coming up on Tuesday, we will be back with an original episode talking about our trip to Vegas and bringing you all the news and information from TPE. Hopefully, bringing you information about brand new cigars and all kinds of other fun stuff that we can bring you guys for what you should be looking forward to for the rest of 2023. But we needed to kind of introduce this, and we needed to hit our sponsors because given the fact that this is a rewind episode, they may not have been with us at the time.
That's true. So first and foremost, JRE Tobacco, Aladino. We are in the mobile studio.
We are in the mobile studio. And guys, if you want to check out Aladino, make sure you check out the Aladino Candela. That is a new cigar that is going to be coming out only to certain retailers. You want to make sure
only ones that have taken the factory tour.
Exactly, gone down to the farm in Honduras there. And Dan the Man Ponder over at Riverman Cigar Company, another one of our sponsors, he's going to be carrying the Candela. And you guys can get yourself a Candela by calling Dan the Man Ponder at Riverman Cigar Company and placing an order. I know he's going to be getting those in. It is going to be the official cigar of the Cigar Pulpit for St. Patrick's Day, so we're going to be smoking that on the show, and you're going to want to make sure
along with us.
Exactly, that's the whole point. You want to get in on it so that you can smoke along with us, and so you can give Dan the Man Ponder a call over there. I am looking up the phone number right now. I probably should have had this beforehand.
They can Google search it if they don't remember it.
I mean, they can, but at the same time, like if I just keep scrolling,
we might as well give it a little bit.
You can give Dan the Man Ponder a call at 314-843-3355. That's 314-843-3355, and you can reserve your Aladino Candela and smoke along with us.
And a lot of other cigars that they have in the shop.
And that's the other thing. Dan does mail order, so you can get all kinds of other cigars along with it as well. And smoke along with us. And then also, we would be remiss if we didn't bring up our friends at United Cigars.
Yes, they sponsor our One Must Go.
And we don't have a One Must Go for this one because, we're just doing this real quick. But, in terms of United Cigars, I don't want any of them to go. They have such great cigars over there.
Amen.
Ranging all the way from they distribute the Atabey and the Byrons and the Bandoleros, fantastic cigars. But then they also do, their own cigars. And I think, we can go ahead and talk about this right now too, Jeff. They made a pre-TPE announcement that they are going to be doing an exclusive version of the Firecracker for St. Patrick's Day. It's going to be an All Saints Cigars Firecracker featuring
So it's a car bomb, not a firecracker.
Well, they've done a car bomb before, and
okay.
and they had a lot of they caught a lot of grief for that name, if I remember right, because apparently some people from Ireland are a little sensitive.
Too soon?
A little sensitive to that, yeah. But anyway, it's going to be a Candela barber pulled, I think it's a barber pull, firecracker. And so you can get that from anywhere that you can get United Cigars. I believe they're going to be shipping, well, they'll be out in time for St. Patrick's Day, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And then our friends over at Villiger, they sponsor our entertainment segment. And I know we're going to have plenty of entertainment out in Las Vegas. Not so much TV and movie-wise, but because let's be real.
Strippers? Lots of strippers.
Probably not. Probably not. I mean, I don't have that much money out there, dude. And
that's true.
I was say it's not cheap to do that out in Vegas.
No,
yeah, it's a little expensive, but no, in terms of entertainment, I mean, let's be real. You and I are probably going to end up watching ridiculousness you know,
Well, it's the only thing on MTV.
it is the only thing on MTV. But I don't mind because I like watching people
It's
fall
that
down.
and Teenage Girls Knocked Up. That's all that's on MTV anymore.
I like watching people fall down and,
Yes.
not
Hurt themselves in unique and interesting ways.
yeah, but I don't want to see anybody die. I just want to see somebody fall down. It's kind of funny. Anyway,
I don't think they run the clips if they know someone died.
I would hope
But
not.
There are times they're like, did he survive? Yeah, he's fine. Yeah.
He's fine.
You know, they'll
He's
just
fine.
play it off, but I'm thinking, there's no way that guy survived.
Yeah, no, that guy probably got really seriously hurt.
That guy's probably dead, if not, paralyzed in a coma somewhere.
But guys, just like with United Cigars, if you are looking to try Villiger cigars, you can head on over to their website where they have a store locator, and you can find out where you can get some great Villiger cigars. And you're going to want to do yourself a favor and do that because they are really, really great cigars.
That's right. And last but not least, we have to mention My Monthly Cigars, our friend Nick Gervais, that will be hanging out with the TPE.
Indeed. We're going to be hanging out with him. He's going to have some samples of fucking good coffee out there and be giving those away to everybody, and it'll be a good time. We'll be able to get some cigars and coffee. It'll be good. I mean,
you can't beat that combo.
No, what else can you expect from a good company? I mean, cigars and coffee. That's the perfect little pair.
Yeah, other than ammo, it covers pretty much everything for me.
Oh, okay. All right then. Well, anyway. Well, guys, we, thank you for listening to the Pulpit Rewind show. You threw me off with the ammo comment. Thank you for listening to the Rewind show, and we will be back on Tuesday with a report from Las Vegas and everything TPE.
Yay!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit. I'm Nick, the Bishop of the Burn, and with me, as always,
it's Gator.
And we are coming to you from a different location.
Parts unknown.
We probably shouldn't say where we're at.
We can't say we're at Top Shooters in Columbia, Illinois?
Well, not if we're smoking, because technically there's the whole smoking ban in Illinois.
But we're outside.
We're
not in the restaurant, per se.
A patio.
The outside patio.
I mean, I guess. It is covered. I don't know if that matters.
Well, we'll step outside on the asphalt to smoke.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what we'll do.
Yes.
Anyway.
Work with me, Bishop. Work with me.
So you're going to get a lot of cigars in this episode today.
You are.
Because Jeff and I are smoking a cigar, but then additionally, I did an interview with a friend of ours, John. And John is a one-time-a-year cigar smoker, give or take. Weddings, special occasions.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Things of that nature.
Yeah. And so one of the things that we had been talking about was... He's asked us about cigars and stuff before, and, we've told him about a few of them, and one of the ones that he seems really interested in trying for whatever reason is the Davidoff Late Hour. And while talking about that, he would ask us, what makes that cigar worth so much more than some of these other cigars?
Yeah.
Which then got us on the subject of cigar prices, and can you really tell the difference between a budget cigar or a more expensive cigar.
Premium high dollar stick.
Well, and so we kind of put it to the test. I got John, and we went over to the hill, and we sat outside, and we put it to the test. I gave him 2 cigars, and I made sure that they looked similar. So they visually were very...
aesthetically pleasing,
well, they you couldn't look at one and say, okay, that one looks gnarly versus that one, that kind of thing. And so we got...
You didn't pull one out of a foil pack is what you're saying.
No. So we got 2 cigars, and I...
2 for $1 foil pack is what I was referring to.
Stripped them of their bands so that he had no idea. Not that I think he probably would have known brand-wise anyway, but... some bands are more fancy looking than others.
They're fanciful.
And so I gave him 2 cigars. And over the course of time, he smoked the one and then proceeded to light up the second and kind of compared. And you folks are gonna learn whether or not a cigar novice, a real cigar novice, was able to tell the difference between a budget cigar or moderately priced. It was like $10.
Okay.
$10 stick.
So, a normal price stick, a medium price stick at a
I didn't want to give him a, Davidoff and a Quorum, for example.
Yeah.
Because no offense to Quorum, they're two totally different products.
Yeah.
And so I figured let's try and keep it somewhat reasonable, within the budget of your average cigar smoker and everything like that, to see if you could tell. But that's two different cigars. That's not what we're smoking.
No,
we are smoking.
Ours has a beautiful pink band on it.
It is. We are smoking the Rose of Sharon by Southern Draw. We are actually smoking the Toro, and let me tell you about the Rose of Sharon. The Toro actually is a 6x52, and this cigar, it's a mild cigar. The wrapper is USA Connecticut Shade. The binder is Nicaraguan, and the filler is Nicaragua and Dominican Lajero.
Ooh.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and light up while Nick starts his interview with John. And from what I'm led to believe on the interview, it's nothing but the two of them ripping on me for not being able to make it when they recorded this over the weekend.
I mean,
a portion.
At least a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I look forward to hearing how I was attacked mercilessly while I wasn't present.
Well, somebody could have gotten his ass off the couch. But first, we're going to cut the cigar.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that.
I need to borrow that.
I figured you did.
Here, let me.
So.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Here, hold on. Let me get this out.
Of course. You've got to get a cigar out of the cellophane.
Well, it's in the beautiful cellophane wrapping.
I like Southern Draw cigars.
I know you do.
Southern Draw cigars. It's a boutique brand, but they've been making a lot of good inroads and everything around in some shops, and they put out a really good line of products. The Jacob's Ladder, I really like that. It's a dark, meaty smoke, man.
Not my kind of stick.
No, probably not your kind of stick. But the Rose of Sharon is definitely
not what I like to call in my wheelhouse.
Exactly.
Somebody got a bingo chip there.
But the Rose of Sharon actually is a really nice cigar. And Robert Holt, the owner, he actually named this cigar after his wife Sharon. So,
that's precious.
Yeah. But it's a semi-box press cigar, so that's the one.
And I like the box press.
That's the one thing I'm going to hold against it right off the bat. But they do make. That's the thing, though. They do make some Rose of Sharon cigars with this blend and everything in different sizes that are rounded.
The thing I like about the box press is when you set it down, it doesn't have a tendency to roll on you like a normal cigar. So, like, right now I don't have an ashtray, so if I set it on the corner of this table, it's not going to have a tendency to take off on me.
Valid point.
So I like the box press.
Valid point. So.
And the My Father's that are box press are some of my favorite cigars.
Well, there you go.
There you go. So while we get lit up here and start smoking our Southern Draw, we're going to let you guys listen to
our
Nick's interview with John.
So let's see if you folks can. You're not smoking them, so I guess it's going to be hard for you to play along. But
you won't know what the good cigar is till the end. Do you name the budget cigar?
I do not name the budget cigar.
Okay. And that's fair. That's fair.
And in all fairness, you know what? We'll just let the interview speak for itself.
Okay.
All right.
I look forward. Or do I?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. So, folks, I'm here with a friend of ours, John McLean. Say hi, John.
Hi.
So, John has had cigars before. But not a ton, right?
Right.
You're not a regular cigar smoker.
Maybe one or two a year.
One or two a year. All right.
And it's normally with you or a wedding or something like that.
Yeah. So okay. So we're doing a little experiment here today. This was actually one of John's ideas, and I thought it was a good one, and so we're going to do this. So
let's do it.
We have two cigars in front of us here. They've both been stripped naked of bands and everything like that. So he doesn't know what he's got. I know what he's got, but he doesn't know what he's got. And
They look the same to me.
And I'm probably not going to tell you folks what he's got, because depending upon how this goes, because I don't want to shit on any brands in case, like, he says, oh, I can't tell or whatever. But what we're doing is I have 2 cigars here. I have one cigar that cost under $3, and I have another cigar that costs $10.
Okay.
And the goal here is to see, can John tell me which is the affordable smoke and which is the more premium cost smoke. I didn't want to.
So what do you think I'm going to, well, wait, let me smoke them, and then I'll tell you what I taste and the experience.
Kind of the experience of it all here. So what did I do?
I don't know. I don't want to know what I need to look for, or I need to pay attention to when I'm drawing them.
There's the lighter.
All right.
And there are the cigars.
Okay.
And the cut ends we're facing you. So
the first one here, they look the same. They look identical. It's going to be really hard for me to tell them apart down, if I get them mixed up.
Yeah.
You know which one's which, though, right?
I do know which one's which based upon how they were laying, and I know which one you're holding in your hand at this moment in time.
You need to smell it or anything before I...
No.
No? Okay.
No. I know which one is which based upon how you were.
So this one, when I smell it, it has kind of a sweet smell to it.
Okay.
Let me smell the other one. Oh yeah, there's definitely a difference in. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll start roasting this one a little bit here.
All right. That's the other thing, is I did instruct John about how to properly light a cigar. So you kind of get it close to the flame, rotate the cigar around so that the whole, the heat is distributed evenly on it.
Like this?
Yeah.
Do I need to get closer?
Right. No, you're doing good. So now just go ahead and put it in your mouth and just kind of, and then now put the flame here.
Like this?
Then put the flame up to it and draw. There you go. Kind of draw in a little bit.
There we go. That's got a good...
Okay.
This one's very light. Very mild.
I purposely bought light, mild cigars for you since you don't smoke on a regular basis. So I'm going to light up.
It's got sweet. It's sweet. Very, very light. I'm
going to light up the one that you are smoking right now, because I'm smoking the same ones, and
so I would say that.
But again, I'm cheating. I know which one's which. So
I'd say it's hard to even tell you got smoke in your mouth on this one. Doesn't have much flavor. Most of the flavor I can taste on my lips. More of the the tobacco, putting it on my lips. I can. Mm-hmm. But when the smoke actually doesn't have much flavor to me.
Well, I did purposely go with some lighter cigars. So let me look that cigar up, and I can give some notes about it, and then that way we can kind of see what we're supposed to see here. So the cigar that you are currently smoking, and this theoretically will mean nothing to you, but it's for the listeners at home,
for the
connoisseurs. So it is labeled as a mild strength cigar.
Okay.
It has an Ecuadorian wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and a Dominican Republic and Nicaraguan filler. The Nicaraguan's going to give it a little bit of spice to the flavor, but by and large, it's going to be a fairly mild smoke.
Yeah, I guess I can pick up a little bit of the hint of the spice.
Little tingles on the tongue, kind of thing, So we are sitting out front of the world-famous Hill Cigar Company. John has graciously given up a little time on his Sunday to come over here and record this segment and do this, because Jeff was too lazy to get his ass out of bed. So that's why it's just the two of us.
Yeah, I'm disappointed I can't see Gator.
Yeah. Are you disappointed? Are you really? I walked in and Danny was working, and she's like, "You brought a new friend." And I wanted to say, "Yeah, my old one's too lazy to get out of bed."
Yeah, it's starting now. The more I smoke it, I think it's, I'm starting to get more flavor.
Yeah.
It's just, it's very light.
It is light.
Hard to pick up any sort of real flavor. I could see, though, if you're, like for someone like me who doesn't smoke cigars very often, this isn't very overwhelming.
No,
it's very mild and very tame.
It's one that I'm going to add to my repertoire for people that are new cigar smokers, because I will admit I picked this out. So I picked out the affordable cigar first. I don't like using cheap, but I picked out the more affordable cigar first. And when I was going through the humidor looking for a somewhere between $8 and $12 stick to compare it to, I was actually going through the humidor looking for ones that visually looked similar, so that it wouldn't be a situation where you're like, well, this one's obviously the cheap one because, whatever, and, that kind of thing. So I wanted to try and match. It is a natural wrapper. It's not the super light Connecticut tobacco wrappers. Like here's one that I think, that's a Connecticut. So if you see, that one's a really light, like tan, caramely color. That one's lighter than that one. And then I don't have one with me, but then inside they've got the Maduros, which are the really dark chocolate color ones and whatnot. So it's just different wrapper leaves more than anything.
So what does Connecticut mean?
Connecticut typically is a very mild smoke. It's a very mild. It's the type of tobacco leaf. So a lot of that is. I mean, there's actually quite a bit of tobacco grown in Connecticut in the Hartford River,
I didn't know that.
An area, and then it's all used for cigars and everything else.
Wow.
But then there's different strains of Connecticut. So it's tobacco that's been taken from Connecticut that's now been transplanted to Ecuador, and they're growing it there. So it's Connecticut tobacco, but it's Ecuadorian Connecticut, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And the Toscanos. So John and I had a Toscano not too terribly long ago, and that was the cigars that I had in my glove box.
The smaller one,
the little,
the
fire cured ones. So those, that's actually Kentucky tobacco, but it's Italian Kentucky tobacco. So they took the seeds from Kentucky, but they grow it in Italy and do all the fire curing stuff there. But it's Kentucky tobacco.
So you can tell a difference in tobacco, like Connecticut versus Kentucky. I mean, or is it all not really?
If you're a big connoisseur, you can't.
You can't really tell.
I got to be told.
Okay.
I mean, I can look at a cigar and say that's a Connecticut, that's a Maduro because of the color, and a few other characteristics, like if it's got like a lot of like an oil or a sheen to it, typically that isn't. Typically, a Connecticut's kind of a drier, but not always. But typically, it's kind of a drier leaf. But
I'm not with this one that I'm smoking right now. I don't know what it is, but it's got a. It doesn't give me so much of like an ashy taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
I'm not getting that right now.
That's
maybe
good.
Later I will, but no. Right now it's.
Well, that's the other thing. So we'll touch on that real quick. So one thing that cigar smokers tend to always, we don't talk about it a lot, but is oral hygiene, and so. Getting the flavors and tastes of yesterday's cigars out of our mouth. So I have this toothpaste that I purchased on Amazon called is it Marvis? It's a thicker. I think it's Italian. It was like $10 for the tube.
Oh my gosh!
But it's great because it's got this really strong minty flavor. It really gets in there and everything. Then I have. A product called Tung, T-U-N-G, and it's a gel, and I bought the set that comes with the little round-headed tongue brush. So you put a little of that on there, and you just scrub the holy hell out of your tongue. And if you do that, it'll freshen up the mouth and get that taste of stale tobacco out of there. So
interesting.
Now, for you, since you don't have the tongue and the whatever, I would say just brush your teeth. And then maybe 20 minutes later, go back, brush your teeth again really, really good, mouthwash and everything. You should probably be fine.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the part that sometimes I'll smoke a cigar and it will almost, it's just too much in your mouth.
It'll linger.
And you know, I'll take, you know, maybe a dozen draws on it, and then I'll put it to the side because it's just too much.
Yeah. The other thing is you've got tea there. So, you know, drinking as you're doing it, it doesn't let it kind of settle on the tongue and everything like that. And so, you know, you just gotta kind of keep the palate fresh.
Right.
So,
oh, it's got a good burn going on it.
Yeah, I would say you did good with the lighting. Better than Jeff does.
He just sets it on fire.
He does. He keeps telling me, "Oh, I've been lighting cigars since I was 16." But I'm telling you, man, you know, Jeff, I'm telling you, you're eating ash when you're doing it because you're lighting the damn thing so close to the flame that it's just burning. But anyway,
you better be careful; it catches hair on fire.
Well,
he's growing the hair.
I
out
would say he's
now.
growing the hair out, and
yeah,
I don't know how frequently he washes it.
Ooh.
So, well, since he's not here, do you have any stupid Jeff stories you want to share with the people?
Oh,
the
let me
people
think
like
about
the stupid Jeff stories.
Yeah, he's a wild man.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that one time I had to go pick him up. He ran out of gas. Literally ran it all the way past empty.
Yeah.
Was going up a hill, ran out of gas. Had to go pick him up.
He's done that so many times.
He's a guy that likes to run it on empty.
He's never called me before because he knows that I don't even know if I'd come get him just because.
I had another friend that did that. He just never filled up his tank.
Yeah.
Always would run out of gas and calling friends, buddies, hey, can you come and pick me up, take me get a gas container full, you know, a gallon or two of gas.
Yeah.
And there's just some people that, and he's one of them.
Dude, I'll tell you, I've seen his garage. He could open up a shop right now and sell gas cans because he's got so many of them in there from all the times he's run out of gas, but not had a gas can. So he ended up having to buy the can to put the gas into to get himself going. I'm seriously not joking when I say he's probably got like a dozen cans in his garage.
Wow.
So,
well, when I had to go and pick him up that day, he literally passed like 3 gas stations, literally within a mile. He passed them, thought he could still make it.
He likes to always joke about that bit from Seinfeld. Remember when Kramer was out on the test drive?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's always doing that. And the thing is he fails.
He's a busy guy though. He's got a lot of things going on, keeping himself occupied at all times.
That's why he likes to try and say that's why he's not here now. Is that he's too busy with stuff.
Is he really just relaxing at home?
I'm pretty sure he's probably just relaxing at home.
Too much shopping over the last couple of days?
Well, he's been giving me a lot of grief about doing 2 episodes a week, but the people demand it. They just demand it. Hell, I think the people would demand 7 episodes a week if I could get away with it. But, you know, at some point I got to make money if I'm doing that. But, yeah, but no, he's been on my case about doing 2 of these a week, and it's just... And he's like, I gotta work. The problem is, you and I both know he's lounging around his ex-wife's house in his underwear, watching World War II in color.
Interesting.
That's
situation.
I know.
That's a whole different podcast.
And I'll tell you, I've threatened to talk about it multiple times, and out of respect, I haven't. But
you're gonna cut this out, right?
Oh no, this is going in.
All right, I better stop talking.
This is going in.
Actually, that is another podcast show in and of itself.
Oh,
you could get a whole new, a whole different topic.
Tell me about it. Just the soap opera of Jeff's life.
Everybody would think it's fiction, but
yeah. Well, dude, I mean, and it's not just the stuff at home with him. Jeff, this is what happens when you're not here. We talk about you, okay? So it's not just the stuff at home with him. It's also all of the Perry County drama It's all of the drama revolving around his newspapers and his radio station, not just within the confines of the businesses themselves, namely, employee drama and everything like that.
Right.
It also is all the drama revolving around the events within the community that his people are then going out and covering. So there's layers upon layers to this onion. You have, this politician doing something stupid, this methed out dumbass doing something stupid, this car accident, this house fire, whatever. Then you have all of the internal drama within his office and everything going on there. And then you have all of his drama at home. And it's just so amusing. It's the best soap opera I ever need.
Consider another podcast.
I know, right? We'll branch this out.
Yeah.
So.
I have to write down all those stories.
Exactly. So, okay. So you're
about a quarter of the way?
About a quarter of the way through that cigar.
Yeah, because I haven't lost any of the, what do you call that part?
The ash. The ash is holding on really, really well.
Yeah, it is.
And it was holding on really well on mine. I did butt off some of the ash only because I don't want it finally cracking off over my keyboard.
Oh.
Which I've done before, and it's just
I have noticed now I'm having trouble getting a nice full draw.
And that's the thing. Some people like to take the ash as far as it'll go until it finally breaks off. Other people flick it off constantly. Mm-hmm. There is a fine point of having too much ash on the cigar, and you probably could go ahead and roll it off in the bowl if you wanted to, in such a way that just kind of
there we go.
Do like one of those things, But yeah, you just kind of get it and.
No, it's very good.
That should allow more air to draw through and everything else. So, okay, so we've smoked that one.
You want me to put this on a little and then take a look at the other one?
Why don't we set that guy down?
Okay.
And then why don't you now?
Let me kind of clear my...
I was going to say, clear your palate.
Yep.
All right.
I think I'm cleared out.
All right.
And so still taste it, but...
You can grab the other one.
Okay.
And then you've got the lighter there.
All right, so I've got this one here. It doesn't smell as sweet.
Okay.
It smells. It just smells. It doesn't smell as like the other one has a more sweeter smell. This one isn't as sweet. I don't know if that matters or not. But okay. Let me go ahead and
flip the top there.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Okay, it's gonna start roasting it.
The hill is all decked out for the holidays. We were walking around the humidor in there earlier, and they've got the Christmas lights all along the shelving. It looks so festive. A lot of gift packs out and available for sale now for the cigar smoker in your life.
I'll tell you what, I don't know if I like this one. Hold, give me a second here.
Uh-oh.
For number one is when the taste on my lips, it's not sweet. It's a little more... So it's not as sweet. There's something different about the wrapper.
I'm gonna look that one up just so that I can
give
the notes about that one as well.
There's a taste when I draw. The smoke has a unique flavor, and I can't put my finger on it.
So that one is actually listed as a medium strength, although I've had it before, and I would kind of argue that, but whatever. The wrapper on that is Honduran, the binder is Nicaraguan, and the filler is Nicaraguan. So theoretically, again, you should get a little bit of spice off of the Nicaraguan.
I'm trying to put my finger on what that flavor is in it.
It's so hard. Some of these cigar guys on the podcast and whatnot, man, they'll be like, oh, it tastes like Chinese pea pods or the peanut M&M without the shell, and you've kind of sucked some of the chocolate off, kind of thing. And I don't get into that, but I did have one cigar one time, and it was a CLE Connecticut. And on the cold draw, which means, when you put it, after you've cut it, you've put it to your mouth and you draw through it like you're smoking it, but before you light it, that's called a cold draw. On the cold draw, I got the unmistakable taste of graham crackers. It tasted just like graham crackers. It's the one and only time I've ever gotten a taste off a cigar that I could actually identify the food.
Yeah.
So,
well, this one, it's definitely spicier than the first one that I smoked.
That would be that Nicaraguan.
Yeah. So this one's there's definitely more spice. I would equate it to like drinking rye whiskey versus the bourbon whiskey. Definitely different. This one, and when I the smoke when it comes, it kind of burns a little more. I don't know. I don't know.
No, this is good.
Burns a little more, and it doesn't have as it has a more of it does have a fuller taste in my mouth.
Well, maybe the tasting notes of the mild to medium were the app that I used. Sometimes I don't buy the tasting the strength notes on it as much.
I mean, it's not horrible. It's not really full. I guess is a good way to say it. Like it's still something I could smoke.
It's not bowling you over, causing your head to swim or anything like that.
I don't know. The more I'm puffing on it here, the more it's not horrible.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay. This is interesting.
This definitely different than that. The first one was a lot more sweet, and I'm going to draw that one again.
I was saying, now you got them both going. You can kind of go back and forth between them. Maybe see if you can get some thoughts on it. You have smoked more of the first one than the second one. But
that definitely the first one a lot sweeter, not like Swisser sweet, like overpowering. But, a sweeter, and then this
not
one,
like sweeter in terms of like actually like sugar or anything like that. But
and then the second one is just a little more.
What about the draw? Like, is it harder or
this
easier?
One's harder to draw.
So it's a lot harder to draw the air through on the second one versus the first one.
In my opinion, yeah.
Okay.
And there's a flavor to it that I can't tell, but it's definitely different. Two different cigars. And at first I didn't know if I liked it, but the second one I'm starting to like a little more.
Okay. Like more than the first one, or you're just liking it more than when you first started smoking it?
Liking it more than the first couple draws.
Okay. So you're liking it more than when you first started, but not necessarily more than the first cigar.
If I had to pick the two, I would pick the first one.
Okay.
At this point. Unless something changes with... that's not... I didn't get that even burn.
Well, okay, so that's another thing. No. So you've got some canoeing going on the second one. That's where it kind of burns a little more, like this. So you do have some
will that
unevenness.
Impact the taste?
Not really. Kind of. So like...
So what do I need to do in order to get it to...
Well, okay, some people will adjust it where they take the lighter and they'll just kind of give it a little bit of flame on the underside there that isn't burning as rapidly. Kind of give it a little kickstart. Other people will argue that if you just kind of keep smoking at it,
kind of keep turning it,
rotating it, it'll even itself out.
Yeah.
I've had some cigars that have done that, but I've also had some cigars where when I've tried to do that, the canoeing just gets worse, and ultimately I just have to touch it up because otherwise it's just not going to happen.
What'd you say? What was the description of this one again?
Hang on one second.
The second one?
That one was a...
I know this sounds weird, but I almost kind of like cinnamon or something.
Okay, so it's a Honduran wrapper and a Nicaraguan binder and filler. Now, you're talking cinnamon. That might be that spice that I'm talking about. Because that's the one thing. When I say spice, I don't necessarily mean like hot and spicy Mexican food. It can be like a black pepper or white pepper, but when you think spice, you also, like when you're talking about pumpkin pie, for example, a lot of times when you get pumpkin pie flavored candies and that sort of thing, it doesn't necessarily taste like pumpkin as much as it tastes like nutmeg and clove spice.
Oh, yeah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I say spice, I don't necessarily mean hot and spicy as much as I just mean spice that could potentially tingle the tongue in such a way. So.
Yeah, definitely more spicier. I don't know if I necessarily would say I don't like it, but out of the two, I probably would find like if I was just like at an event with someone and as a casual cigar smoker, I might have, like I said, less than 2 or 3 a year, maybe. There's probably some years I don't smoke any.
Yeah.
if I had to choose, hey, we're all standing outside celebrating something and somebody pulls out a cigar, I probably would prefer the first one than the second one.
Okay.
And you're smirking.
I am smirking because you've just picked the higher end of the two.
Really?
You did.
I kind of was thinking that one might be the higher end.
You did pick the higher end. So the first cigar you picked was, I believe it was right around $10. And the second cigar that you have there was, it priced out at right about just under $3.
Wow. Jeff really likes some crappy cigars.
Well, but see, here's the thing.
And by the way, it's not crappy. It's different though. It
is different, and that's the thing is that when in Jeff's case, and for a lot of people that are that smoke maybe 4 or 5 a day, the more affordable cigars do make a lot of sense because do you want to spend $50 in a day smoking 5 cigars, or do you want to spend $15 in a day smoking 5 cigars? So I understand that. There are some, there's the practical nature of it, though, in that when you're getting a more affordable cigar, you have some issues that you have to contend with. Your canoeing issue, I've dealt with that on more affordable cigars a lot. Sometimes there are cigars out there that are $2 and $3, and what they are oftentimes are the shavings, the pieces, the remnants left over from making the $10 cigar that they turn around and reuse to make the more affordable budget cigars.
Okay.
And so it's the same kind of level of quality stuff, but maybe the wrapper leaf isn't quite as perfect as the wrapper leaf over on the $10 cigar. Or maybe the filler on the inside, instead of being long filler, is kind of a short filler. And what that'll do is it'll produce a softer, more brittle ash to where the ash will fall off easier than with the more expensive cigar.
Okay.
And everything like that. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one, as I'm puffing on it now a little more, the first one, as I'm taking more draws on it, and yeah, I definitely prefer this one. And
so, since you did pick the premium cigar of the two, I will go ahead and let you know that it is the EP Carrillo New Wave Connecticut. So, there you go, EP Carrillo. He chose your cigar of the two.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't have done that had you gone with the budget cigar.
Yeah.
Just because I don't want to
No,
but,
yeah, it doesn't make me feel as bad now maybe not finishing that one.
Yeah, that one, it's not that big.
I mean, you probably could cut it right now and maybe save it, but this one here is definitely I would.
Jeff will do that. Jeff will relight cigars, hours later and everything like that. I'm not a fan of that. And the reason why is because when you light the cigar, you're igniting the tobacco at that end and it's burning down. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you stop smoking and you put it down, it does continue to burn a little bit. So then when you reignite it, you're igniting ashy, burnt tobacco. It just totally screws with the flavor the entire rest of the way. It tastes burnt, because that's what you're getting coming through. Now, one thing Jeff will do is he'll blow out, instead of sucking, drawing the air in through the cigar, he'll blow out like he's, pushing through a straw with it. He claims that it doesn't. I mean, there's really no good way of saving and relighting a cigar for later, but, it's what it is.
Yeah. No, this one's good.
Yeah, I like the Carrillo. Carrillo makes good stuff. In fact, this brand in this past year, so we're coming up relatively soon to Cigar Aficionado's top 20 cigars of the year. This past year, they received the number 1 cigar of the year. It's not this cigar, but this brand did.
Well, maybe this brand will shoot some samples over a couple other ones. Since I like this one, maybe they'll shoot you a couple more.
I'll tell you, I know, right? Well, that would be our buddy and friend of the show, Michael Henderson of EP Carrillo. Michael Henderson is the national sales director for EP Carrillo, and I just saw him here not too terribly long ago at the Hill, and he and his new protege, who I guess has finally come on. You know, we have Sam, and Sam was a good guy, or he is a good guy. He's not gone. So
Yeah.
Sam's a good guy. So you know we like the folks from Carrillo there. So
maybe get a couple more in that $10 range that they make, and we'll try them out. We'll see which one
we can do that.
Yeah,
because they got the Cigar of the Year, and then they've got another one that I like, which would be a little heavier for you, I think, but it's called the Dusk, and it's a much darker, heavier, smoke and whatnot. Jeff tends to go more of the mild to medium. I tend to go more the medium to full.
So do most cigar smokers drink whiskey, or do they drink beer when they smoke, or is it just all? Is it one
it's
of those
really
things
all
like,
preference. I'll be honest, I drink iced tea,
Right.
but
well, like when you're sitting here and you're smoking this, right now we've got iced tea, but is it, would this go well with like a whiskey, or would it go like maybe a darker beer? And kind of sip on that darker beer while you...
It's just like when you're pairing food and wine or food and whiskey and all that sort of thing. It's the same thing. So with the Carrillo, you have it's a mild, and you have maybe just a little hint of spice creeping in and everything. So you don't want anything that's going to completely overpower and to where all you're tasting is just the drink, and
Right.
you're not getting anything from the cigar. So you got to find something that is maybe on the lighter side of the drink, that maybe has some flavor notes that you think correspond well with it, to where it balances. You get a little bit of the cigar, a little bit of the drink, and it all kind of comes together. So
Interesting.
yeah.
And maybe that's
Actually-
an idea for some shows, is
definitely.
matching a cigar to
Well,
a drink.
We have our friend from Canada, Jen, who is coming on with us every Friday, and she's a whiskey and bourbon connoisseur. Now, the thing is, she's not a cigar smoker, so she can tell us about the spirits and the liquors and all that sort of stuff, but she doesn't really do much in the way of pairings and that sort of thing.
We should do that sometime.
We can totally
We
do
should
that.
get like 5 or 6 bourbons. No, it's very this one I like it. I like it, and that and then the first and the second one, the one that was a cheaper cigar, I didn't hate it. It was just there definitely, well, from my reaction from the first draw,
I was
you
going
could
to say,
tell
from
that-
the start, I could tell that you weren't enjoying it as much as the first cigar. And it kind of played out. It played out pretty much how I thought it was going to play out.
This is an easy one.
This was, well, the problem with going with the more affordable smokes is you can tell. You can tell when you're smoking something that's $3 versus something that's, $8 to $12. And I mean, my God, if I'd have given you the Davidoff, because John keeps talking about how he wants to try the late hour.
The Winston Churchill?
Yeah, the late hour.
I'd like to try that.
And
what do those cost, though? Like 20,
that's
30
like
bucks?
a $22 stick. So, for me to have given you a $3 stick and a $22 Davidoff, I mean, you'd have known that right away. In fact, I actually have one in my humidor at the office, and I had it in the hand thinking, I'm like, okay, we could do this. And I looked at it, and I'm like, you can tell just by looking at it that it's a better cigar. Just the construction and everything on it, it's smoother and everything like that. And I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to remotely put these two down in front of you and have you say, oh, they look similar and everything like that.
And I'll tell you, the two that you had me try today, they looked identical. I mean, I at first sight, I'd have no idea. I actually kind of thought maybe the second one was the one that was more expensive because it was a little more fuller, but in terms of taste and enjoyment, the first one definitely. What was this brand again?
EP Carrillo.
The Carrillo, yeah,
Yeah.
This definitely is better.
Well, the experiment has played out,
Yeah,
and John's palate is refined enough to be able to tell a $10 stick from a $3 stick. So,
yeah.
which I would think, by and large, most people probably could do that. But this was the test. This is what we.
Well, how about we get
wanted
some
to do.
Carrillos, and then we'll get some bourbon, and we'll have a show sometime in the future.
I'll tell you what, I've still got half a bottle of Buffalo Trace from
not bad.
From this past Friday. So Jen's got me going. She's on her segment on Friday. She's doing this bit where I'm on my whiskey journey because I'm not much of a whiskey drinker at all. I did some whiskey in college, but it was mostly just, with the intention of getting blackout drunk. And so, I'm not much of a connoisseur or anything like that. And so she actually polled the listeners, and we got a lot of really great suggestions for whiskeys, but Buffalo Trace won out as the one with the most votes. And so this past Friday, we cracked open a bottle of Buffalo Trace and got going with that. And yeah,
No, I'm a beer guy. I like beer. I've always preferred beer over hard liquor, but I've just started getting into whiskey, and primarily because I don't necessarily, when I drink beer, I normally drink beer, I have 2 or 3 beers.
yeah,
Whereas with whiskey, you can actually sit there, you sip on it, you have a glass of water,
Yeah.
you can, more of like a relaxing type of
precisely.
atmosphere. So as I get older in life, I prefer more, less volume and more, of the experience.
Exactly.
So I could see where, smoking a cigar.
Now, it's funny. There are some cigars that are designed to pair with beers. I know Perdomo came out with a line of cigars there, and I think they're still doing it, that each cigar in this line, there's like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them. I don't remember exactly. And they're blended to pair with different types of beers. So lagers, pilsners, and so you kind of gauge based upon what you're drinking beer-wise with what you want to smoke cigar-wise. Okay. Additionally, Casada cigars every year came out with, and including this year, I just saw them where did I see that pack? I was somewhere the other day and I saw a gift. Oh, I remember where. There was the Casada cigars came out with Oktoberfest cigars. And what they do is they blend it to pair well with the German style, what is that, Marzen beer? And it's the Oktoberfest cigars and everything. And actually, Jeff and I smoked that in our Halloween episode because it was the last of October. And with that one, it was good at first. And then he went inside and grabbed some beer, and we started drinking beer with it, and like flavor notes just started popping with it. It was really, really interesting how adding beer to it really enhanced that cigar. So yeah. Well, this has been fun, John. I appreciate you taking time for doing this. And so yeah, folks, that was the EP Carrillo, New Wave, Connecticut. That I think we smoked the Toro, so.
Yeah, no, very good. Thank you for the cigar.
No problem.
Well, we'll have to come back, and I'll have to come back on the show, and we'll have to smoke a couple, we'll drink a little bourbon, and maybe we can maybe you'll get me to become more of a regular cigar aficionado.
I'll tell you, there's a couple of them in there that I would highly recommend. Ones that as somebody starting off, I think would be really good.
I was going to ask you
Oscar
about
Valladares makes some really great cigars that I think are great for early beginner cigar smokers. So
I was going to ask you about the late hour. What makes the late hour? Is it the tobacco blend that makes it more valuable?
Well, Davidoff's a bit more of a high end,
the name
brand and everything like that. They just in general, their cigars typically are more expensive. Just they're a higher end brand just in general. But that one in particular, it's actually priced right about the same as a lot of their other cigars. So I don't remember the blend on that one off the top of my head, but it's the cigar we smoked in the very first episode of the show, and I've had it maybe 2 times since then. In fact, it was actually the cigar that I bought and smoked on my birthday, because last year on my birthday, I had a Cohiba. That was my big, expenditure cigar and everything like that. And it was good. It wasn't bad. I kind of did feel like, is this really worth the $23 or whatever that I spent on it? I don't know. But the late hour, I do feel the late hour is worth the money. It's a quality smoke, ridiculously smooth draw, really smooth, flavor, the taste and everything. The smoke is just, there's nothing harsh at all about that cigar. So I don't mind spending that kind of money on it. I just can't spend that money on it all the time.
Yeah.
My cigars tend to run more in the $8 to $12 range.
Right.
So,
yeah, a $25 cigar, every day can get a little expensive.
Maybe if I'm lighting it with $100 bill, then I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind. But so,
well, thank you, Nick. I learned something here today, and
well, good.
We'll have to come back on.
I was going to say
we'll talk about bourbon and cigars.
We'll get some bottles. We'll get some cigars. We'll get Jeff on here.
Yeah,
and
come on, Jeff, get off the couch.
3 of us can have a nice day. And the thing is, and John's here at the Hill, and it's about 40 degrees outside. 40, really windy out today, and everything like that. So that was a really loud truck. But really windy out today and everything. But John, you're in the little room that they've got for us here. Super pleasant, right?
Very nice.
Yeah.
It's nice atmosphere here. Very relaxing. It's it's very comfortable. All of their furniture here. It's very, very welcoming and
yeah. So yep, we'll get you back up here while the winter's still going on and sit around and have a good time. So
awesome.
Well, cool. Well, thanks, John.
Thanks, Nick.
Well, I want to thank John for being such a good sport. He, for being a guy that smokes one cigar a year, he tripled his output for the year by smoking these 2. So
and a good portion of it was at my expense.
Not a good portion of it.
I just focused on that and
I
saw
only
red.
focused on that.
Thank you for that.
Not entirely.
But he picked out the cigar. I'm impressed.
Well, yeah, I'm impressed with kind of the notes that he gave as to how he came to that conclusion. He was, comparing the taste, the smoke, the draw, the construction a little bit. He was for a guy who smokes one cigar a year, he definitely had a little bit more knowledge maybe than I thought, or else he was just that perceptive of it. So
there you go.
So yeah.
And, John is among what I would consider our more normal friends.
I know him well enough to say
to counter that a little bit.
Maybe. Yeah. But yeah.
Ish. Normal-ish.
But he did pick it out, and he told me after we were done that, he wants to get some more of the EP Crillos and sit out and maybe grab some bourbon and enjoy that. So through the magic of podcasting, we've been enjoying our Southern Draw. We have been enjoying the Southern
Sharon.
Draw. Yes.
I think it's a very creamy cigar, kind of sweet.
A little bit.
Are you getting pepper off of it, or what do you?
I got like a little bit of pepper, just a little hint of pepper, kind of in the beginning third. But I will agree with the creamy and the sweet. It's a mild cigar. This is a breakfast cigar if I've ever encountered one. It's
my kind of cigar.
It's a good cigar to start the day with, but if you've had anything even with any remote strength behind it, and you try and smoke this afterwards, your palate's barely going to pick it up.
This is your second or third cigar of the day, so that may be what's happening.
Yeah, so it's one of those things that the palate's barely going to pick it up, but that's not saying that it's a bad cigar. I've had the Rose of Sharon before, and I really actually enjoy it. It's a good quality smoke, and like I said, Southern Draw makes some really good products, so this is among them.
Well, there you go. So let's tell everybody real quick. Our sponsor is...
So we're working with mymonthlycigars.com, and mymonthlycigars.com is a premium cigar subscription service where you get boxes sent to you in the mail at your home, and you can get them in various sizes and cost. But if you sign up for the Robusto box, which is 4 cigars for $30, that would be the Cigar Pulpit Care Package. And what'll happen is you'll get that box. Jeff and I will get that box, and over the course of the...
So we'll all have boxes.
Exactly.
Okay.
Over the course of the appropriate month. So the December box, I think, is getting ready to ship out or should be hitting people's mailboxes later this week. That box we will receive as well, and over the course of December, we're going to smoke those, and the folks at home can save their box of cigars and smoke along with us.
Yay!
And share their notes and thoughts and tell us if they think we're right or wrong about the cigars in the box.
The offer code Pulpit still applies, does it not?
It does. So if you go to mymonthlycigars.com and you sign up for the subscription service, you can get free shipping by putting in offer code Pulpit, Pulpit, or if you put in that code, if you're buying stuff in their shop, because they do sell some other items as well as the subscription boxes, you can get 20% off those items with that offer code. And I will be curious to see what cigars are in the December box, because they do have an MSRP guarantee. And what that basically means is that the value of the cigars inside the box is guaranteed to meet or exceed the price of the box. So last month's box, November, that was a $30 box. But when you added up the suggested prices of all of the cigars in the box, it was like a $46 total.
Shoot, just that Cohiba was half the price.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so it was a $46 total. So, you were saving like $16 doing this.
Good deal.
And the best part, as we like to point out, is it gives you the opportunity to try a variety of cigars that perhaps maybe you wouldn't normally, or you don't have access to right now. And so what you can do is you can try these cigars, give them a shot, and then if you like it, go to your brick and mortar retailer, tell them, hey, I just had this and I really want more of it, so I need you to order it. And the beauty of it is the brick and mortar shop, if they don't already carry it, that's the one thing. They may carry it and you may have just overlooked it for years. But if they don't already carry it and they order it, then the beauty of it is it's kind of a win-win for everybody. They know that they're going to get some sales out of it when it comes in. There's no, risk of it sitting on the shelf and nobody buying it because,
they're stuck with dead stock.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things. Maybe you saw an ad in the magazine and you're like, oh, that looks like a good cigar. And you tell them to order it and you get it and it's not your cup of tea. Well, then they're stuck with the rest of the box. In this case, you like this cigar, and so they know they're going to get some sales out of it. So,
there you go.
Yep.
And then people get a hold of us on the socials.
Yes, so we are on the socials, as Jeff likes to call it.
The socials.
We are on Instagram at the Cigar Pulpit and at Naked Gator, Nekkid Gator. We're also on Facebook, and we're on Twitter, and we're on YouTube, and you can email me at nick@cigarpulpit.com.
Beautiful. And with that being said, we're going to bust open the box for the Friday episode.
So
correct?
for Friday's episode, we're going to go ahead and we're going to bust open the My Monthly Cigars box, because I did get an email that I should be receiving that in the mail prior to us recording that episode. So we should have that in time for Friday's episode. So we'll go over the contents of the December My Monthly Cigar box and have something from that in Friday's episode. And then it'll also be Friday Whiskey. So Jen will come on and she and I will kind of talk about some options for what to do with the rest of that Buffalo Trace bottle. I know some of you folks have been giving us some suggestions for various drinks that I can make with that. So we're gonna pick one and go down that road a little bit too. So
Yeah, or as I like to call it, the destruction of Nick's liver.
slow and steady.
Yes. Hey,
Slow and steady.
that wins the race.
I don't think that is the case.
The race
in
to
this one.
cirrhosis.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm like, I don't think that's the case in this situation, but
Probably not. No, I'm looking forward to it, and I actually really liked the Buffalo Trace last week. I'm
Yeah.
more of a whiskey drinker than beer if I'm going to drink, so I enjoyed it.
we brought it out it's no secret that we obviously recorded Friday's episode prior to Thanksgiving.
Yes.
So we did break that bottle out on Thanksgiving and have a little bit there. So it's not as full as it was when you last saw it. It's
That's okay.
had a little bit taken from it.
It's your bottle, not mine.
I mean, it's
I mean,
what
if
it
you
is.
want to just sit at home and get sloshed, that's
It's not my
that's
cup of
between
tea,
you and
but-
Satan.
Yeah. oh my.
It's the devil's nectar.
Final thoughts on the Rose of Sharon there, Jeff?
Just a nice, creamy, mild cigar. It's my perfect smoke.
Well, there we go. And I thoroughly enjoy it. Like I said, I was introduced to Southern Draw at a event that they had at the Hill Cigar Company. Oh, that would have been earlier this year. That would have been like April of this year. And
It was pre-podcast.
It was pre-podcast, and so the first cigar of theirs that I had was actually the Rose of Sharon, and I like it. It, like I said, it's a mild smoke. It's definitely the one you want to start your day with, but it's a quality, well constructed, creamy with a little hint of sweetness, like you said, little hint of pepper. And it's a quality smoke.
We got to run back onto the AstroTurf now so we can finish our cigar.
Yeah, I know, right? It's kind of chilly outside.
It
but
is.
anyway.
But we've been running in and out, so
Yes, we have.
we would never break any laws.
No. So. Well, folks, with that, this has been another sermon from the Cigar Pulpit.
Amen, Brother Nick.
I'm Nick. That's Gator. We will catch you next time. Stay smoky.